though, Liver King.
Yes, guys.
Is now about to be sued by his ex-fans who are maddened by his steroid taking scandal. And he might have to pay out as much as $100 million for it.
Not 25? I thought it was 25.
Because this is a class action lawsuit. There are 4 plaintiffs, each one asking for $25 million in damages.
And he's a wealthy
dude.
If
they all win, then he will have to pay out $100 million. Unlikely, but also, I'm going by like the version of Occam's razor that is like the most entertaining outcome will win at this point. Like it's 2023 and the most entertaining and funny thing will happen.
This is a scandal on steroids. This is one of those things that's like, and then right after this, The Rock came into the news because Joe Rogan was saying like The Rock is clearly not natural. And then right after that, I don't know if it's because the algorithm gods, whatever it may be, I started getting a lot of videos about like fitness influencers who are like going ham on The Rock for like not like clearly talking about how he's like doesn't use steroids but clearly does. Does he? I don't know. But
maybe he doesn't use them.
We're
today,
on the super chat
screen
screen right now.
What are we? Is it still on the super chat screen? There we go. See? Hey, I'm
anyway, so this guy doesn't use steroids, but actually he does.
But he does. Yes. Well, it's like you look at any picture of him, it's like
so we covered this when it broke. Basically, he has the ancestral tenets and claims that if you eat the diet that he eats, which is, you know, raw liver, testicles, hearts.
He never said he didn't,
etc.
He did actually say he doesn't eat steroids. He's like, but I never.
And
said
if you sleep on wooden boards and you don't have 5G in your house, then you can get jacked like him. And if you take his supplements, then you'll look like him. But it was news to a lot of people apparently that he was on a huge amount of steroids, which costed him, I think, $12,000 a month.
He's like, if you buy $12,000 a month in steroids and my supplements, you can look like me.
So I guess the complaint is really just saying the ancestral diet that he's promoting, where you have to eat raw organ meat every day, can like kind of destroy your digestive system so that you're left with only the option to take his supplements. You start buying them and then you still don't get the same results.
Yeah.
And he vehemently denied using steroids, of course, and insisted that his physique was all natty. And
they have to say natty too. You're like as a fitness influencer, you're not allowed to say natural.
Oh,
I thought it was natty.
I thought it was like when I think it was Taco Bell, they're not allowed to like advertise a beef cheese burrito. It has to be beefy because it's not completely beef. Like he's saying it's natty, meaning like I want you to think it's natural.
If it's not beef, then what's the rest?
Natty
of it?
TM.
They mix it with like all kinds of other parts of cheaper cuts of meat, so it could have like pork
at least it's
or like
still meat.
I think I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But like if he's saying it's a natty supplement, he's not actually telling you it's natural. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Here's a quote from the complaint. It says, Liver King fashioned a cult-like, extreme and implausible regimented lifestyle which he then convinced consumers to adopt and maintain. Then, knowing that no one could stick to this, quote, life-threatening diet, he sent traffic to his supplement sites. I disagree with the premise that eating a carnivore diet is life-threatening, and that's a weak point in this case.
Aren't they saying just raw carnivore?
I think it's not that
diet?
It's carnivore. I think it's that it's raw.
Yeah.
Was that all that he ate? I'm not a Liver King fan. I don't know.
It's like, because like Michaela Peterson does carnivore diet, swears by carnivore
diet,
the food,
though.
But she cooks the food. Like that's
makes
different.
it a lot easier.
Yeah. Also, Maddie Healy could join this because he did that. Didn't he eat raw meat on stage once?
Well, and also
YouTube
is littered with like raw vegan influencers who eat nothing but bananas, at least on screen. And they're like, this is the only way to live.
Don't you also say like there's nothing more toxic than like the fitness influencers who talk about like what they eat in a day?
Yeah,
totally.
It's considered disordered eating. Like it's to be completely obsessed with food and to be constantly like any form of extreme obsession. So like whether it's calorie counting or being like I can only have completely natty bananas or whatever.
What I think about the what I eat in a day videos, it's somebody like, I don't know, an Alexis Ren who definitely doesn't eat as much food as she is showing social media.
On this day, I ate this
Or maybe it's only on that day, and so it's misleading.
It's funny.
It's similarly misleading when he's telling his fan base that he's eating raw meat, and that's why he looks the way he looks, when that's obviously not the case. Yeah. He even admits in his own apology video for lying that he does this for the 15-year-old boys out there who have self-esteem issues. And it's like, you're literally making their body dysmorphia and quality of life worse by lying to them. And I'm sorry, like, I see a lot of takes that are like, if you believe this guy was natty, you're a moron who deserves to get taken advantage of, and you deserve to lose your money.
The libertarians.
That is not what I think.
I think the most important case that we could reference as precedent is Brooke Wyndham in Legally Blonde, who is famous for her, I don't know, Pilates or workout videos. And she would rather go to jail and potentially be convicted of her husband's murder than admit that actually she gets liposuction, because that's the only way to maintain her figure. I think that there are probably, I have no reason to doubt that Liver King, who I've never watched, maybe started with some real advice and intention to help someone, right? Like, maybe he does believe in carnivore diet. Yeah. Right. But like, to maintain that, I don't know how you could without steroids. Like, this seems extreme to me. And
I have no idea why anyone would even want to look as artificially jacked as Liver King. But if you do, and you're naive about how that is attainable and about his real methods, then like, I don't think you deserve to get swindled, especially if you're a teenager.
And I think that there are other, I mean, this is part of influencer culture, is like, I'm trying to think of the names. It might be Halo Beauty with like one of the makeup people, but like, there've been a couple different supplements, maybe it was one of the Kardashian ones, that say like, you'll get thicker hair and clear skin and whatever else.
The little gummy bears.
Right. And they are not effective. Like, ultimately, I don't know how many of them are face lawsuits, but like, your body, you get rid of all of the vitamins that you don't need. There's no guarantee with any of this. And so for him, like, I could see where you are a tend towards extreme personality, right? Like, even if maybe he suffers from his own form of body dysmorphia, he becomes very jacked, he becomes very lean.
Now he's just leaning into it. Now he's just leaning into it and saying like, yes, I'm doing the steroids and still doing what I was doing. He was a successful businessman before this venture. Yeah. So this is just like, he saw a market to fill and filled it. And like you said, I think it's
creepy that as a 45-year-old man, you openly admit that you're going for a target audience of men under 20.
But
and you're kind of being a father figure to them, like, and a male role model. I don't like it.
I could get that, but I also think that like, someone on his team was like, you know who has money to spend on this? It's guys 15 to 21.
And my guess is like, once you hear that, it's very easy as like as a less principled businessman to rationalize that what you're doing is not
or
dangerous.
You are telling yourself, no, it's fine. Everything I'm doing is fine. You just lie to yourself, and then therefore you lie to the public.
That's what he said he was doing in his apology video. I still think that in the apology video, he was still like coming up with excuses like, I had good intentions the whole time. I just want to help young men, feel more confident in themselves. And he admitted that he himself has body image issues.
I haven't seen this, and I have said all of these things. Like, this is playing out like just predictable. And I'm sad for him if that's true. And in the more than likely case, he's just trying to save face. Like, I feel mostly sad for the people who really bought into the lifestyle and potentially anyone who was seriously harmed by it. But you can't trust the internet. This is the thing. Like, just because he eats a liver and he has a backpack and a weird beard, like, that doesn't mean he's credible.
That's why you got to go follow Papa Swolio. He's way better. He's the guy who just says,
go to the effing gym.
He drinks coffee, he spits it out and says, go to the effing gym.
Sure.
And he says, eat a steak, go to the effing gym.
Are the female influencers going to be held accountable for peddling like the flat tummy teas? Not just the supplements for hair and nails, but like, these are literally dangerous laxative products. And that's not in.
So some of them have faced lawsuits. I wish I had prepped one to pull up. But for the most part, these class action lawsuits are difficult to prove because, like, if you read the fine print of these products, they'll say like, oh, well, maybe it doesn't actually, like, the thing that the influencer says, like, it helped me lose 25 pounds, but everyone's different. Yeah. So that is their way of getting out of it. Like, it really depends on who they are. With him, like, it reminds me of, like, false advertising.
Did he say, like, I don't know. It'll
the way that his website is worded with, like, the ancestral tenets, it's almost like a 10 commandments of health that anyone can follow and get good, but maybe not equal results. And, maybe it is like really good for you to eat raw organ meats or a carnivore diet. I don't dispute that because I don't know. And I also think that it goes against the mainstream narrative, which is that you need to eat mostly grains. But like, then just give us what the real result is, because I think he could achieve something great with that, and just lifting, eating meat. That can make you look great. And you don't need to go to the extreme that is going to give you health issues down the line and shorten your lifespan.
Well, I think he would have been successful even if he had just done the raw meat. The raw meat part of it was enough of a clickbaity headline that he probably would have been successful anyways.
That's the thing about maintaining his body through steroids, right? Like, I bet he was fit. I bet he is a gym person, right? But the extremeness of his figure, which is facilitated through steroid use, is what makes you look on the video and be like, what?
Yeah.
Like, once he became known as Liver King, and seeing him eat a liver loses its shock value, he needs to maintain this crazy, bulky, veiny, like, I would not want to look like that. I don't think I'd want to date anyone who looked like that. Like, muscular is good.
This is why I think it's for other men,
like,
that they do this.
And I think it's to show you, like, I have pushed myself to the extreme and I can maintain it, right?
Yeah.
Like, some people can work out really intensely, cut, look kind of ripped for a while. Like, you hear this with, like, fighters and stuff like that.
That's very common with a lot of the people, like the people who do like the Arnold Classic and stuff like that. They talk about like, you don't look like this all the time. You literally work up to that day, and then basically have to decompress.
It's not something that seems maintainable, but for him, he is selling like, your body responds to this. It is supposed to eat like this, and it is something that you can maintain forever, which like just fundamentally isn't true. And he proved that by taking steroids.
He even said in that apology video that if you start taking at least his regimen of steroids, that you start to gain more muscle by not working out than by working out. Like, it's so counterintuitive.
Yeah. It sounds so stupid that it's and people are like, it's so stupid sounding, it must be true.
And like, long-term steroid abuse damages your pituitary glands. It has emotional consequences. It affects fertility. Like, men who because I don't desire to look like this, the idea that you would take steroids, like, it's appealing to me. But I recognize for men, it's a different standard, and there's a different body. There's a different desired result, right? Yeah. But like, it is worth saying that like, steroid use isn't just like, oh, you take some steroids, you get muscular, and then if you're lucky, you don't get caught and get sued. But it's like, it physically alters your body. It's not something that you can do with no consequences.
I imagine that he was able to like explain he could rationalize it to himself by saying like, look, if I can just get these people, like a lot of them, even if they're on steroids, like if I can get people into the gym and attaining a healthy lifestyle on their own, they've done their job.
Telling yourself you're a net positive when you're doing something objectively wrong,
or
is like
when you
are
lying,
like, my lies are justified. Like, that's
even
what
if
gets
it's lying
me.
by omission. That's like, as long as I can get them in the gym and learning a healthy lifestyle. Look, I do like. I loved baseball. Granted, I wasn't the biggest Barry Bonds fan, but I know kids who loved Barry Bonds and wanted to play baseball the rest of their life. Do they care that he took steroids to hit his home runs? Some of them do. Some of them don't. Like, that's different, obviously, because it's like a competitive sport. But you look at videos of Barry Bonds like in the early 90s, and he's just tiny compared to the size he was at the end. And then everyone's like shocked. I can't believe he was on steroids. Like, it is what it is.
Do you guys think that Liver King deserves to have to pay out $25 million or however many millions? Does he deserve that fate?
I don't know about that.
I don't even know what his net worth is.
Yeah, I think you'd also have to see what the like argument is, right? Like, how did they? Because typically people ask for this big, huge number, but then the court settles it somewhere else, right? Yeah. So like, if they ask for $100,000 and they ordered him to give 50. But they're like, but if we'd gone to the table with $3 million, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think he'll actually end up paying $100 million to these people. I don't think it sounds like the case is that strong. I wouldn't be surprised if he has to pay $1 million to each one or several $100,000. I think that there is a case for financial damages, especially depending on, like, I haven't read through the lawsuit, so like, what
that opens the floodgates too of other people wanting to sue. Also, maybe if not them, they shouldn't necessarily win, but you know who should win is those two guys who are suing the movie studio because there wasn't Ana de Armas in the movie.
That's false advertising.
They advertised the movie with Ana de Armas, and they cut Ana de Armas from the final product, and they're suing for $5 million. So they're like, I paid $3.99 for this movie. I want $5 million. I want them to win. Mm-hmm. Stick it to the man, I say. So,
like, you saw this with the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp case. Remember, the jurors had to go back in to like fill out how much they had to like award to each person.
Yeah,
like, I could sue Brett for $5 billion, but if the jury decides that I'm only worth, it's only worth me getting $10, that's how it works out.
It's funny when you talk about the what you eat in a day videos, because everyone who's ever growing up and skating during the height of like when the internet age became popular, one of the biggest things people did were day in the life videos. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing less like a day in your life than a day in your life video. Because
like, have you seen all of the obnoxious ones from New York City? They're like, here's a day in my life or a weekend in my life in New York City. First, we went to brunch cafe with my friend Bobo, and then we got we got matching tattoos.
Every day I just go and get a tattoo.
Then we went and partied in Central Park at 4 p.m. In broad daylight, and then we caught a vibe at whatever nightclub, and then we did an after party at this asshole's house, and then
there's the one
like not your day.
There's like a famous one where it's like how I survive on 19 grand a month as a graduate student in New York City. And it's just a bunch of people where it says that, and then it cuts to them. A guy's like adding water to his toothpaste and like filling his shampoo bottle with water so that he doesn't run out. And he's just like, seriously? Really?
Right.
19 grand. Like, granted, if you're in Manhattan, 19 grand a month for somebody who's fiscally irresponsible might still be low end for somebody there in like the richest parts of the city. So I don't know. I think it goes back to more of what you just said. The internet is not real life, and maybe Gen Z and beyond will be more technologically literate to just how fake the world is online. But until then, people will get got by grifters who are selling them a body that looks like the Liver King and telling them that it was done with supplements and raw meat. Though, did you see the Ryan Long video? It's like the one guy who didn't know Liver King wasn't natty.
I did see that this morning.
Ryan Long never misses. Thanks for watching this clip, guys. If you want to see full episodes or follow us on social media, links are in the description below. Bye.